Alex Jones is Alexander EMRIC Jones, not Alex Jones at all. And this is a story of Esquire, Crimes Against Humanity. On Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. This is Staff Sergeant Robert Allen Retluski, United States Army veteran. But you can call me Rob Ryder, and the easiest way to get a hold of me is my email, courtofrecord@aol.com. And what I want to do today is look at a particular court case. It's very similar to what I've done here recently. I'm just hoping that somebody gets this to Alex Jones and he watches, or at least has one of his people watch, and then they'll tell him to watch. But I've done a lot of videos on YouTube. They're on Rob Ryder, ROBBBRYDER, and they're all in the same vein, right? Pointing out shit that's wrong. And just using the skills I have to do the couple things I can do, right? The rest of it is out of my control. But there are things I can do, so this is what I do, right? I like to look at things to see if it's been done right. So just here a couple days ago, I did a video on Proud Boy, Mr. Patriot Deserves Justice, Not Pity, where we look at a case for some Proud Boys in a federal court, and I'm pointing out all the things wrong in their court case. Very similar to what I had done in the Newport News is an alien enemy belligerent, where I looked at another court case at a state level and see all the things that are wrong with it. And, you know, you could look at this one here as your state governor, an alien unprivileged enemy, and you would see that, you know, your governor hasn't been properly seated as the constitutional governor of your state, so she's a usurper, or he. Same with, you know, all the members of Congress, in this case, the City of Detroit Police Chief versus Tlaib, where he was upset, saying that she should think about resigning, and she came back with her answer, and so I'm telling the chief, well, she shouldn't resign, Chief. You need to arrest her ass, or you both need to go to a FEMA camp. Right? Because she violated Michigan's election law. So, enough about that, right? What are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about Alex. And the case that was going on in Connecticut doing with Sandy Hook, right? And so if we were to go look at that real quick. At some point, they decided they were going to take that case out of the state court and put it into federal court. And when they do that, they have to make a, well, the clerk puts together, you know, all the paperwork that was in the state court to send to the federal court. And that's what I had shown in this Newport News, right? This was the same thing, where a guy had gone through state court, and then he was going to take it to the appeals court, and they made a certified copy of the record, right? And in this case, this guy had spent 8 months in jail and never even been arraigned, let alone had a preliminary hearing. He never had an arraignment, right? That's the evils of Esquires, who are agents of the crown, right? They're not working on your behalf in the United States. They're working as agents of a foreign corporation, you know, the crown. And I pointed that out in you know, this video also, that you know, don't let them call you a mister, because in their society, a mister is inferior to an esquire. So what I wanted to show then, getting back to why we're here, is this particular case. So like, this is the first page they put together, right? This says got a docket number, and you know, there's Alex Jones et al., whoever the hell that is, right? William Sherlock, which I'm sure William has a middle name, so that's not his proper name either. So we have not properly identified either of the parties. With, you know, Superior Court, J.D. at Fairfield at Bridgeport, you know, notice of filing, notice of removal from Superior Court, Judicial District of Bridgeport at Bridgeport, State of Connecticut, the United States District Court for the District of Connecticut. And as you can see, this whole thing is 76 pages. So, you know, there's a lot going on in this document, but actually most of it doesn't matter, because the things at the beginning and the things at the end are wrong. So the shit in the middle doesn't matter. And to show you an example, so this is the first page of this, and if you go through it and start looking for things that are wrong, well, here's just a few of them that are. So let's begin, right? We're not going to look at all 76 pages like this, but there are some pages we're going to look at really closely at all the different things that are wrong. So pay attention, Alex, right? Because all this shit's wrong, and this is the stuff they're using against you. These are crimes against humanity, right? They stole your humanity. They took your full legal name, the name that's on your birth record, and they made some thing out of it, and they're charging you as a thing. Not even necessarily a John Doe, but a thing without a soul, right? You're no longer a person. You became a thing. Now, when I say person, so people jump out of their fucking socks when you say the word person. It's just crazy, right? But Webster says a person is an individual human being consisting of a body and soul. We apply the word to living beings only, possessed with rational nature. The body, when dead, is not called a person. It is applied like to a man, woman, or child. And that's why when you see like natural person, artificial person, these things, they're not the same as person, right? It's been modified. In fact, it's no longer a word. Now it's a term. So somebody took the word natural and put it in front of the word person and made a term, and now they get to define what that term is. But it's not the word person. So I know people have a problem with this artificial person stuff, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Webster person, the human being consisting of a soul and body. Well, that's what they're taking from you when the Esquires go about their black magic. So, right? So Alexander EMRIC Jones just became Alex Jones et al. And now they're going to get Alexander EMRIC Jones to agree that he's Alex Jones et al. So they can try him. But they're not going to take him to a state court because this is the proper name of the court. It's the Fairfield Judicial District Superior Court. Just look it up. Right? It's not the Superior Court JD of Fairfield. This isn't the name of any court of the state. But what it is, it's the name of some private tribunal that they're going to take this matter to, or that the matter was taken to try to get you to agree that that's where it happened. But, that isn't, you don't have to go to a private court, right? If we weren't in the Fairfield Judicial District Superior Court, then, Alex, you were never in court in the first place. So Alex has been taken to a private tribunal, not a constitutional state court. That's the important thing. And we got a docket number up here, and I just highlighted it because you'll see other places where it asks for the docket number, and there's no freaking docket number on it. And so, again, it's not the Superior Court, Judicial District of Bridgeport at Bridgeport, State of Connecticut. That's not the state court. The state court's the Fairfield Judicial District Superior Court. So, the state of Connecticut, it's the same as saying state of Texas, which, Alex, I pointed out some months ago now, that when the state of Texas wanted to put something in the Supreme Court and they were told they didn't have any standing, it's because the name of Texas is not state of Texas, it's just frickin' Texas. Texas. Right? State of Texas is actually the name that was used by Texas during the Civil War when it was part of the Confederacy. Right? So its proper name is not State of Texas, and yet that's what they put on the paperwork. Right? Again, done by Esquires. So we got some defendants. We got, fictional Alex Jones, and then these different businesses, which, that could be their proper names for the business. I don't know. But everything has a proper name, right? What was actually filed with the Secretary of State is the proper name. And if that isn't what they're using, then they're really not even talking about, the businesses. But regardless, they're all fictions, right? So this isn't a court of person. This is a court of fictions. Right, Superior Court, Judicial District of Bridgeport at Bridgeport, State of Connecticut. I'm afraid that is not the state court. And so how they could take this case to the United States District Court for the District of Connecticut is beyond me. I didn't know that, that the district court would have any jurisdiction over a private matter. You know, this court here, Superior Court, Judicial District, Bridgeport, State, Connecticut, that's more like a judge-judy court, right? Or Judge Wapner. That's all it is. It's a private freaking tribunal. You have esquires, attorneys who have been, licensed by the bar. I don't want people have a problem with the word license, so you got to be careful what you say with this shit. Anyways, they say that they have the authority to practice law in their state, and none of them do. They're not using their names that are on their any document that showed that they're the person that passed the bar exam, right? But anyways, they're doing it anyways, and then they're going to put it into this case, which is the case in the federal court, 318 CV 1269. So this is the package we're going to take from here to there. So this says the InfoWars defendants, right? Because after they listed them, they said these are the InfoWars defendants. Request that the clerk of this court certify or attest copies of all records or proceedings filed in this court and all docket entries therein, with the same to be filed with the United States District Court for the District of Connecticut within 30 days. I'm just looking at some. I don't remember seeing any docket entries, like a docket entry list where here's all the documents that were entered. Register of Actions, I think, is the proper name of it. Right? And so this was done by, InfoWars defendants by somebody who's using a frickin' middle initial name, which is not his legal name. There's nobody with that signature. So we got a bunch of fictions being represented by a fiction who's, basically under fraud by power of attorney, is, saying that this is what these entities want to do. It isn't really necessarily what they want to do. He's supposed to be giving them legal advice and telling them what to do, right? But no, he's saying this is what they want to do, right? And he's signing for them. He's signing as the InfoWar defendants. Well, it's not the full legal name of any attorney. And no attorney in this name passed the bar exam. But it's the Randazza legal group, saying it's all good. And then their attorneys, right? Like this is supposed to be the rest of his signature block. Now, how you can separate a signature block like this, I don't understand. But they don't seem to have any problem with it. They just, they just go ahead and do it. Okay, and then we got certification. Actually, this is wrong. I need to take that off of there. These were the other. I think this is the one. Yeah, you have to look at these names real close. Yeah, these are the ones. These were other defendants in this court case. All right, so. All right, Sherlock v. Jones et al., United States District Court, District of Connecticut. This is the case number. So this is an exhibit going into that case, right? So there's no denying the proof, the evidence of the crime done at the state court was put into the federal court, into this case number. Right, where here it's got Alex EMRIC Jones. Well, that's close, but that isn't Alex's name. It's Alexander. Right, what's the name of your birth record, Alex? If they're not using that name, they're not talking about you. But this is the point. They'll never use your name because they're not talking about you. They're making up a fiction. They're going to steal your humanity and turn you into a thing and then try you like a, piece of chattel. Superior Court, Judicial District of Fairfield at Bridgeport, Connecticut. No, that's not the right name either. All right, let's go look at it real quick, just so I can say that I showed it, because I like to go as thorough as I can, so hang on. Yeah, here's an example, right? This is for directions to the court, and it says the Fairfield Judicial District Superior Court with an address. Well, that isn't what they're talking about in these documents, Alex. Where the hell was I? Right here. So, I don't know what to tell you. It's wrong. Wrong. Okay, but then it goes through what all the different exhibits are, and I just don't have time to go through all these. We'd be here forever. And so who's putting this in? So, okay, wherefore the Infowars defendants in the above action now pending in the Superior Court, Judicial District of Fairfield, right? Again, Superior Court for the Judicial District of Fairfield at Bridgeport, which is not the proper name of the court, but it's like the third or fourth different name they use. They're really good about spreading the names around, Alex. It's what they do best. Right, put in by some guy that that's not the name of any attorney that's on any roll of attorney, or has a document that showed that he passed the state bar or anything else, right? That he didn't do it, and neither did this Yahoo. Right? So you have two attorneys who did pass the bar, who are concealing their identity and acting as the attorneys for the Infowars defendants in a case that didn't happen in a state court that's now going to be moved to a federal court. Duh. There's just got to be something wrong with that. And, I'm sure Alex thought he hired some good attorneys, right? Oh, I'm going to get the Randazza legal group out of Las Vegas, man. That's what I was told to use. We got some in Hartford, Connecticut. Oh, they're a big company. Yeah, they all got suits on. They must be important people. Certificate of service, right? So one of them was made to, this is interesting, right? So now they put this together and they got to serve it to all the different parties. So this Matthew S. Blumenthal, right? We'll see in a little bit. He's going to sign as a court commissioner on a document to get the thing started. He's not going to do, he's not going to sign as being an attorney for the plaintiff. He's going to sign a document and check a box and say he's a court commissioner. And he has authority to, make this case move. Right? So I don't know who all these other people were, why they were in this case, but, they're all being screwed too, right? There's no Ted Anderson. There's no Stephen P. Brown or Nicole R. Whatever. These people don't exist. Right? You cannot have an initial in your legal name. The Real ID Act, Alex, right? It says that you have to use your full legal name, and it defines your full legal name as your first name, middle name, last name, or surname, no initials, no nicknames. Right? Well, technically, you don't have a middle name. Right? Now, if you want to say you do, go right ahead. But just remember, you don't have a middle initial. Just always put your name. But you have a given name. So my given name is Robert Allen. That's my first name. And that's the way they always do it on documents. They, even when they put your name backwards, they'll have, last name, comma, first name, comma, middle name. They'll put Ritlewski, comma, Robert Allen with no comma between Robert and Allen. They're signifying, they agree that's your first name. There's no reason to have an initial except to hide your identity. And in a time of war, as we are now, the Department of Defense would consider that an indication that this person is a spy or a saboteur. And because they're Esquires, well, they're both. They're enemies of the United States. Okay, Exhibit 1. Right, Judicial District of Fairfield. No, that's not quite right. That's not the right name. Jones et al. Right, it was Alex Jones before. Had some guy's name. I can't remember his first name. Sherlock versus Alex Jones et al. But now we've even changed the name. Right, you just throw shit in. I don't know if that number is going to change or not. But let's just go on. So now this is supposedly the summons that got the thing started. Right, summons civil, it's a CD-CV1. Now that's a form number, and eventually we're going to see that again, and someone will be saying, well, that's a case number. No, that's a form number for this form. And what do we have here? All right, this is for plaintiffs. Please enter the appearance of. Now, my question is, I got this big-ass blank here. Is there supposed to be a name put in here? Right? Because then there's another line, and we go on to something else. But, But anyways, this is the name of the attorney firm. And it's got this number. Now, if this is supposed to be somebody's bar card number, which appears that it is, then where's the attorney for the bar card number? Because this is not, the name of an attorney. It's the name of a business. And then, hey, there's M. Blumenthal, so he's going to get any email with this. Well, Blumenthal is an attorney for this Koskoff, and Bieber. Right? And here we go. Right? Here's an example. Right? Name. Last, first, middle initial. All right. So they got Sherlock, William. Well, does he have a middle initial? Is that his full name? Right? Or is there another part to his name that's not on there? Because I know that, in this case, Jones, Alex. Well, that's not Alex's full legal name. It's Alexander. Right? EMRIC. So it should be, if we were using their style, it should be Jones, Alexander, and then E. Or what it would show, when done as the first name being your given name, it'd be Jones, Alexander, EMRIC. Right? With just one comma. But since we're putting names backwards, because it says, put the names backwards, well, how come we did put LLC, Infowars, and LLC Free Speech Systems? Right? They didn't do it that way. But here we go. Right? So this is, this is supposed to be the summons, and the summons is supposed to be done by the clerk or a commissioner of the Superior Court. And that's who Matthew S. Blumenthal, the attorney, is claiming to be. He's claiming to be a commissioner of the Superior Court. That's got to be a big-ass crime. Right? Now, this thing was never filed. Right? There's nothing in here for the court to use. It's got no docket number. Right? Got no signatures anywhere on it. I think I pulled it up here. Hey, hang on a minute here. Yeah, here's Koskoff, right? And here's all the Black Magic Esquires. And one of these guys, there he is. Matt Blumenthal. Right? These are all Esquires, and I need to tell you right now, Esquires, the Lord rebukes you. Jesus rebuked you in the Bible by profession. And you're the people he's talking about. These people here were all rebuked by the Lord. Praise Jesus. And then these are just the, compliant idiots that just do whatever the frick they're told. Here, send this paper here, do this, stamp this, do this. They're not experts at the law. I'm not blaming these people. These are the, black-hearted black priest. And they gots to go. Better repent. You're going to a FEMA camp to await trial for treason. All right, back to the show. So that's, Matt. He's saying he's a commissioner of the Superior Court. Well, is that a fact? Now, someplace they have to have a list of all the commissioners. It'd be easy enough to say, well, give me a list of all the commissioners. I want to see if this guy's on it. Right, Alex? But, that isn't what your attorneys tell you. How many millions of dollars you spent on attorneys, Alex? Not filed, no docket number. Right? Wrong court. Here comes the complaint. Now, allegedly, this is the complaint that was filed into the Judicial District of Fairfield at Bridgeport, which is not the proper name of the court. So they didn't take it to the state court. They took it to Judge Judy. And because you go to Judge Judy's court and you argue the facts instead of saying, hey, this is the wrong jurisdiction, well, guess what happens? They say, well, that gives the court jurisdiction. We told you what court we're taking it to. Right? It's your attorney's fault. But your attorney didn't use his full legal name either. So really, there's nobody's name on anything that means a damn thing. It's interesting, though, in this complaint, it said Alex Jones does not, in fact, believe the Sandy Hook shootings was a hoax, and he never has. And yet, he's being tried because he was trying to make light of the fact that it didn't happen. Okay, hang on again. An Adam Lanza, right? That's not this guy's full legal name. Using Adam Lanza or Alex Jones is like using a John Doe and, saying this is you, John Doe, right? We're going to try you as a John Doe. or as a thing, as something other than a person. Okay, and then we get on a little bit further, and we see you got the parties, and, well, you know, it should be Alexander Emric Jones, right? But defendant Alex Emric Jones. That's not Alex's full legal name. It's Alexander. And no, you don't have to agree to be Alex Emric Jones or Alex Jones or Jones. Right? They're not trying you by your full legal name, then it has nothing to do with you. Just like William Sherlock. You know, I'm sure he's got a middle name, but they didn't put that on there. They didn't put his spouse's name, who, you know, apparently was killed at the Sandy Hook Elementary School. I didn't follow it that closely to even have an opinion about, you know, how made up they made the story look. But apparently that's what they did. They at least made it to look like it was made up. Probably just to have the controversy. Yeah, that's what these people are. Anyways, you can see it's a long-ass complaint, right? So this is supposed to be the complaint of the plaintiff. So, you know, some guy is supposed to have been the complainant for all of this. And almost all of that before was just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. And now we're getting down to what the counts are that they're complaining about. Evasion of privacy by false light. Is there a statutory section that goes with that? Right? Is that in the Connecticut, you know, code of torts? Right? Defamation and defamation per se. Well, there is no law for defamation. There's a law for there's a law against libel and slander, but not for defamation. Right? They don't cite any codes. They just put these words, and you know, they want you to agree that this is what you did. They say, well, what law did I break? Intentional infliction of emotional distress. Well, jeepers. They got, you know, is there a statutory number to reference that to? Negligent infliction of emotional distress. We got a lot of emotional distress. We're just going to call it emotional distress and then give it different names at the beginning so we can have more counts. Unfair trade practices. How does that? Connecticut unfair trade practices. Right, I thought this was about, I don't even know what it's about. So what are they asking for? Well, you want money damages, punitive damages, attorney's fees, costs, declaratory relief. This matter is within the jurisdiction of this court, which is not a court of the state. It's a court of Judge Judy under some name with people impersonating that they're court officers. Right? Because the guy sitting at the, you know, sitting up there pretending to be the judge, he was appointed or elected to be a state officer. At least that's what we believe when we go and vote for these people. Right? But that's not, he's not sitting in a state court. He or she didn't execute the oath of office that's required under federal law for United States Code Section 101 for state officers. Executive and judicial officers, you know, shall execute the following oath before exercising the powers of their office. Right? I state your name. Do solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States. Period. Just that all by itself. You got to do that one for the federal government. If your state wants you to do something else, well, you got to do that one for the state. But the one you do for the state doesn't satisfy the federal government because they didn't ask for those extra words on there. They said, you know, in the following form, to wit. Anyways, Alex, I showed it in many other videos. I'm not going to show it again, but I'm just going to show, hey, here's that attorney, right? First he was acting as the court commissioner. Now he's acting as an attorney for the plaintiff. But there's no plaintiff's name. We don't even know who it is. Right? This isn't a verified complaint. Like, you know, there's nothing on here that shows that there should be a page after this or something that has a statement from the plaintiff that he has read the complaint and he agrees with it and verifies it, but there isn't. So we don't even know who the plaintiff is because it says the plaintiff, and we're not really sure who these people are because they're not using their full legal name, right? And these names aren't on the roll of attorneys or whatever they call it in that state. Here in Michigan, it's called the roll of attorneys. Right? So in that name, that no person's passed the bar exam. And again, this Matthew S. Blumenthal, he signed as a court commissioner. Right? This joker right here. There he is. Yeah. Maybe someday it'll all look like this. They won't have their pictures there anymore. They just will have the name and then a number that shows that's their convict number at the FEMA camp. And once you start arresting them, well, they'll stop doing this shit. But until then, they got no reason to stop. So since it's, like impossible to get done using the, what we believe to be a government, because none of these people have taken a proper oath of office, Alex, this is why I'm an advocate that we need to go to the military. I'm hoping you use your bullhorn and talk to them a bit more instead of barking at the freaking Supreme Court or the Capitol building. There's other things that are just facades of Freemason bullshit. Right? All them people in there, nobody has taken a proper oath of office. They have not satisfied the 6th article of the Constitution, Alex. Why don't you get that constitutional lawyer you have on your show all the time, old Baldy, and say, hey, how about the 6th article of the Constitution? How come nobody's taken the oath to satisfy the 6th article of the Constitution? I got this dude on the internet. His name is Staff Sergeant Robert Allen Rotluski. He says they got to take the oath to satisfy the 6th article of the Constitution, which you can find in 1 Stat 23. Right? Statutes at Large, the first book, very first law passed after the ratification of the Constitution, is an act to say this is the oath that satisfies the 6th article of the Constitution. And guess what the oath is, Alex? I state your name, do solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States. Period. The same one that's in 4 U.S.C. 101. Continuing on, now we're going to have an appearance of some attorney. Right? Now, who is J.M. Woolman? There is no attorney past the bar in the name J.M. Woolman. And it's not the Judicial District of Fairfield. It's the Fairfield Judicial District Superior Court. But here's his appearance. Here, like full name of plaintiff versus full name of defendant. Well, Jones, Alex et al. Is not the full name of Alexander Emric Jones. Just like Sherlock William is not his full legal name if he's got a second part to his name. But they don't seem to care, Alex. They just drive on, brother. But interesting, he is using his full legal name, right, on this document. Now, we won't see this again, but he did when he put it in his... He said that's who's going to appear. Who will appear? It's J. Marshall Woolman. Well, let's see if J. Marshall Woolman appears anywhere else in the documents. He was supposed to sign it, though. Look, there's no signature. You just put a number in there, which I'm sure that's his bar card number or something, but it didn't say put your bar card number. It said signed. Right? Name a person signing at the left. There's no signature. Was not filed in state court, Alex. I didn't sign it again. As you can see, there may be a few things wrong with these documents, Alex. Right? And, of course, going to talk to another attorney about it is pointless. They're all members of the bar. They all gave up their First Amendment rights to join the bar. They gave up the right of free speech, which makes the bar association they joined is advocating the overthrow of our constitutional form of government because it took away its members' free speech. So no, you can't, if you want to be on us, you can't be under the Constitution, right? Because you take away one piece, you took away the whole thing. It's not, well, we just do this and this and this, right? So what do we got here? Initial return to service. Served Alex via Connecticut Secretary of State. Now, how they got away with serving Alex through the Secretary of State as Alex Jones, I don't understand. But they said, and by the direction of the plaintiff's attorney. This is why they did it this way. So, you know, whoever this is, there's no letterhead. There's nothing on here that says who the hell it is. Oh, it was Barbara Coffey, Connecticut State Marshal. Well, there you go. Does that make her a state officer? Because the within are the original writ, summons, and complaint, and there's nothing within. Right? There's nothing else on here, so she didn't include them with her, you know, I don't know if this is supposed to be her affidavit of service or what the hell it is. It doesn't even say what it is. Just a bunch of words on paper. But everybody was basically served. Didn't matter where they were, you know, unless they lived in Connecticut itself, right? They just sent the paperwork to, what does it say here? I left 2 verified, true, and attested copies with the original writ, summons, and complaint, like it's 3 different documents. At the office of Dennis Merrill, Secretary of State, statutory agent for service, and duly authorized to accept service on behalf of the within named defendant, InfoWars LLC, and paid the statutory fee in the amount of $50. Right? Alex Jones saying the same thing. Well, how did he become how did the Secretary of State of Connecticut become the statutory agent for service of Alexander EMRIC Jones? Well, he didn't. He became it for Alex Jones, who doesn't exist. Okay, Exhibit 4. What's this one going to look like? Oh, here we go. Case number. That's the frickin' form number of the summons, right? This is a form. That's not a case number. Had that long-ass number they were supposed to be using. Affidavit of service, right? It doesn't. It's State of Connecticut, County of Fairfield, Superior Court. Well, again, that's not the proper name of the court. So, but it's like the 3rd or 4th or 5th or 6th or 7th style of name they use for the court. Received by some processing company. And served on Alex Jones, right, which is, you know, that's a John Doe, at 15101 Back of the Moon, Unit D, Austin. Is that your address, Alex? 15101? Did they serve it on the right person? I don't know. I know that Barbara C. Stinnett, that's not her full legal name, so she can't swear to shit, so it's perjury. Post the attached true copy of the summons and complaint with the date and service endorsed. So let's go take a look. But she signed it. This is interesting, right? Barbara. Now she's got some kind of permit number. It'd be interesting to go look at her permit and see what name is on her permit. But she's got the same last name as the dude that's acting as the notary. Right? Is there a conflict of interest there? I don't know. Yeah, this is where they posted it. Is this your house, Alex, at your front door? Because, you know, there it is, whatever that is. That's what they're claiming, that Alex Jones lives here. And we pasted on the man's front door. Oh, now we're going to get to the Declaration of Alex Jones. Now, this is where they're going to get Alexander EMRIC Jones to agree that he's Alex Jones. But if you notice, these plaintiffs are different than the plaintiffs in the other case, and there is no case number. Right? There's no case number. There's no evidence that this, well, if this is evidence that it was filed into the court case, then there's your evidence that it was filed into the court case. But there is no case number here, right? So, and these are the wrong plaintiffs. But I, Alex EMRIC Jones, declare under penalty of perjury. Well, that's not his full legal name. Again, it's Alexander EMRIC Jones. I'm a defendant in the above captioned lawsuit. Well, they're trying to get you to consent to the jurisdiction and I'm a citizen resident of the state of Texas, well, that's the Civil War name, right? It should be citizen resident of Texas, not state of Texas. Right? So they're trying to get you to agree that you live in this foreign jurisdiction called state of Texas as Alex Emric Jones. But even Alex Emric Jones isn't the name that's on the court case. So I'm a sole member of, and then da-da-da-da has these things here. Okay, and then they put this, pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1746, I declare under penalty of perjuries under the laws of the United States of America that the foregoing is true or correct. Well, if you go look at 28 U.S.C. 1746, which we're going to do, give me just a second. Yeah, okay, so this is the authenticated U.S. government information, right, from the government printing office. They're authenticating, saying this is what the law is today. In Title 28 of the judiciary, where it says under subsection 1746, unsworn declaration under penalty of perjury, that you can do it. And then it gives these two reasons. If executed without the United States, I declare under penalty of perjury, under the laws of the United States of America, the foregoing is true and correct. If executed within the United States, I declare under penalty of perjury that the foregoing is true and correct. Well, the one they put on Alex is United States of America. So that's saying that Alex is not in the United States. And if you're not in the United States, you're not protected by the Constitution. And here you are. I wanted to show real quick, since I was going to look at these, and Alex, because I had mentioned this, right, that all state officers, right, Title IV, United States Code, right, again, this is, there's a little birdie, right, Title IV, United States Code, 101, every member of a state legislature and every executive and judicial officer of a state shall, before he proceeds to execute the duties of his office, take an oath of the following form, to wit, I state your name, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States. So if they cannot produce that oath, Alex, a certified copy that has been filed, then they're not a state officer, executive, judicial, or legislative as far as that goes, and they have no authority in the United States, which is why they had to get you out of the United States by getting you to agree to change the frickin' jurisdiction that you're being tried in. Right, which they got you to do by you declaring under penalty of perjury, under the laws of the United States of America, that the foregoing is true and correct. Well, that's out of, it's not within the United States. It's outside the United States. And then one last thing. So that's the state version. Now, if you go look at Google 1 Stat 23, right, you can find an act to regulate the time and manner of establishing certain oaths, which is 1 Stat 23. And let's just read here. Was the first law passed by the United States Congress after the ratification of the Constitution. It was signed by President George Washington on June 1st, 1789, and parts of it still remain on the books. Well, the only part of this act is the oath. Everything else is what to do about it after you've done it. So, that the oath or affirmation required by the 6th Article of the Constitution of the United States shall be administered in the following form, to wit, which means you can't deviate from the form. This is the form of the oath, all by itself. I, A.B., do solemnly swear or affirm, as the case may be, that I will support the Constitution of the United States. Period. Well, that isn't the oath that the people who pretend to be congressmen take, and that's not the oath that people who pretend to be senators take, and it's not the oath taken by people pretending to be your state legislator or the judge in your court case or the governor of your state or the attorney general of your state or any of the other alleged officers of your state. They have not executed this oath, because you can see it's the same words, right? So I don't want to confuse you here, right? It's the same words. All right, I, A.B., do solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States. Pretty cut and dried. Okay, and there's no religious test. It doesn't say "so help me God" or some other thing on it, like the other oaths that they take have. They say "so help me God." Well, that's a religious test. That makes it, does not satisfy a 6th article of the Constitution, which says you cannot have a religious test. And so finally, they have you sign it as Alex Emmerich Jones, and again, Alexander. That's not your name, right? Now, you were taking the advice of your attorney, right? They did this to you. Your Esquire did this to you, Alex. They stole your humanity. It's a crime against humanity. They turned you into a thing. And a crime against humanity in a time of war, why be a war crime? Right? And so there's no reason that the United States military cannot go arrest these people, other than they haven't been convinced that we're in that situation, and you have a bigger bullhorn than me, so I hope you start talking to them. Right? Because you're not alone. This is what they do to everybody, Alex. You weren't special. This is just business as usual by Esquires, whether it's a state court or what we believe to be a state court or a federal court. They're not using their full legal names. They're not using the proper name of the court. They change the name of the court. They don't use your name. It's, just all sorts of things that are wrong. So, okay, hang on. We're just about done. Okay, so again, this is what they look like to start with, Alex, and they want you to spend all your time reading these 78 pages and get all upset about all the shit that's in there. And I'm just trying to point out, well, that isn't what you need to start with. You need to start at the very first page and see if this isn't right here. Really, if this part isn't right here, then you already have a reason to say that it's, unjust. Because as is on yours, right, the proper name of the court is Fairfield Judicial District Superior Court, not Superior Court, Judicial District of Bridgeport at Bridgeport, State of Connecticut, or Superior Court JD of Fairfield at Bridgeport. By the time they got through the first page, they'd already committed a felony. Right, and here's where it started at. With these, with your legal counsel. Right, so what'd you pay these people, Alex? What'd you pay the other guys, Alex? Go look at it. Right, that you could say that's embezzlement. They're charging you for a service they didn't give, so you can at least say it's attorney malpractice and put a claim against their insurance policy. We'll have to say that for a different day. Okay, you'll have a great day. That's all I got to say today. And if you know Alex Jones, please get a hold of him. If you can get a hold of the man, say, hey, Alex Jones. Alex Jones is Alexander Emmerich Jones, not Alex Jones at all. And that what happened is a crime against humanity. Okay, have a good day.